Hello, welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and here at Verbling at this particular hour, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and the next day, we're going to be looking at the TOEFL speaking test. Yesterday's class was basically an introduction and looking at the scoring and some general tips. Today, we're going to get right to the practice. We will be looking specifically at the first two questions, questions 1 and 2, which are independent questions. The remaining 4 questions on the exam are integrated questions. They involve reading and listening and responding to the reading and listening. Today's class, we're again looking at questions 1 and 2. They're independent because it's just straightforward a question, and you do your best to answer that question. All right, for these first 2 questions, time is limited. Okay, you will see the question. You will have 15 seconds. There's a countdown timer. This exam, the TOEFL speaking exam, is all, the IBT is all computerized. You'll be sitting there with your headset and microphone. There will be other students surrounding you who will also be talking into their microphone. So you have to get used to that kind of chatter distraction. All right, you'll see the question and hear the question, and you will have 15 seconds, only 15 seconds. That's very short. To prepare your answer, you can have a pencil and paper to make notes. You should make notes. Again, 15 seconds, not a lot of time. Your answer will also be timed, 45 seconds of answer time. Again, you'll be able to see, you will see a countdown timer, so you'll know how much time you have left. Before we practice today, a couple quick tips for students who want to try this out and do a little practice. Of course, I'll be giving you feedback related to general English matters as well as to the TOEFL exam. Things to keep in mind. You need to know exactly how you're going to attack each of the questions. The first 2 questions, basically, you can kind of think of it as a template. You need an introductory sentence, which is clear, not with a bridging phrase like because or whatever. Just a clear one, very clear. Clarity is important. A very clear introductory sentence. Bring up your first point, your supporting point, and then add some detail to that point, whether that is by giving an example or clarifying, explaining why you raised this point, for example, is a good way to do it. Bring up a second point. You really should go for at least 2 points. It's possible to do 3, but in 45 seconds, I wouldn't. I try for 2 major points, a point, detail, point, 2, detail. Conclusion is totally optional. It is not necessary. You will not lose points if you don't have time for a conclusion. Detail is much more important than a conclusion because you can see the timer. What I would suggest, if you have 8, 10, 12 seconds and you're pretty much made your points and given your detail, then go ahead and rephrase your topic sentence, introductory sentence, into a conclusion, something along the lines. And that's why I would choose to live in a tropical climate over a colder climate. Just a quick concluding sentence. Again, not necessary, only use it to fill up the time. You will lose points if you don't fill up the time. Both ends. In the beginning, if you're not ready to start and you waste 5 or 5 to 10 seconds out of that 45 seconds, you're not going to get a top score. You're not. If you end with 10 or 15 seconds left and you're done, you are not going to get a top score. Guarantee it. You need to fill the time. The TOEFL speaking test has really two kinds of scoring: a raw score, and then that score is scaled depending on difficulty of the question and previous scorers' results. It's scaled up to 30. 30 is a perfect scaled score. As far as raw score in speaking, a perfect raw score would be 24. There's 6 questions. You can have a maximum of 4 points on each question. Generally speaking, most people, maybe not everyone, it differs person to person, most people would probably say that the first 2 questions are the easiest. So you want to ace them. You want to get a 4 and a 4 right off. Most people would say that, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so hey, the classroom's open. Come on in and join me, and I will throw you some practice questions, and we'll practice our English speaking, and I will give you some feedback. Need some students to work with, though, so come on in and join me, and we'll get started. Well, what else can I say about? Excuse me, about the independent speaking topics. Oh yes, okay. Well, all right. The first independent class task, rather. Sorry. Basically, it's a description. You're going to describe a person, maybe a place, object, an event, and give 2 reasons why you chose it as an example of something. Maybe, okay, here's an example. Talk about something you and your family enjoy doing together. Describe and explain why you all enjoy it. The instructions will actually also say, give details and examples to support your opinion. Well, they're demanding details, so keep that in mind. Okay, so it's kind of a description as well as an opinion. You have to basically describe something and then give your opinion why you enjoy it, why it's important, why it's your favorite. Lots of favorite questions in the part 1. So you have to explain it or describe it and support your opinion, why it's your favorite, for example. The second independent task we'll be practicing today, provided I get some students in here. We'll present you with 2 options, maybe 2 situations, maybe 2 opinions, maybe 2 possible courses of action. All right, 2 things. You have to pick your preference. It's a preference question, preference opinion. So you have to state your preference and then give your point detail, explaining why. There are no wrong answers. There's no such thing as a wrong answer. Actually, the correct answer in any of these standardized English tests, the correct answer is not even necessarily what you believe. The correct answer is what you can talk the most about with the most detail is the correct answer. Okay. All right, I got somebody to work with a little bit. Hi, Rebecca. How are you today?
Okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, good.
I'm good. Thanks. Okay. I've been sitting here doing intro for 8 or 9 minutes, so let's get right to practicing English speaking by practicing these TOEFL questions. All right. Okay. Are you ready? Here we go. Give it a try. Now you can take, again, in the questions 1 and 2, so feel free to take 15 seconds preparation time. You want to take a few seconds before you start. That would be great. Ah, where'd you go? Come back. What happened? Okay. I lost my first participant. All right. Again, come on in and we'll, oh, there we go. Okay. Hi, welcome back, Rebecca.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, internet, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so.
Okay. Let's give it a try. All right, here is your question. Excuse me.
For how long do I have to talk?
Okay, you have 15 seconds preparation time, so you can actually take a few seconds to gather your thoughts.
Okay, let me know when is the moment to start, please.
Sure. I'll just 1 banana, 2 banana.
Okay, banana to banana. If I can't think about it, you know, so.
Yeah. You don't worry about that. I'll say please begin. Then
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And then you're speaking for 45 seconds is the
45.
deal.
Less
45
than 1
seconds.
minute.
Less than 1 minute. So
Wow.
therein lies the rub. There's the difficulty. You have limited preparation time, very limited speaking time.
Okay, let's go.
Crazy TOEFL test is very much all about fighting the clock, I guess. Okay. Here is your question. Okay, hang on a second. Just a second. Whoops. Okay. Here is your question. Describe a place you would like to visit. Okay, explain why you chose this location. Use details and examples to support your position. Okay, you can have 15 seconds to prepare. Okay, and please begin.
Well, I would like to go to visit Paris, you know, I always wanted. So I think Paris is one of the most amazing cities around the world, with a lot of museums, very nice and very important. Actually, one of the best museums around the world is in Paris, you know. So the culture is another thing really interesting for me to go there. And well, I think food in Paris is really nice too. So those things are the reasons why I would like to go to Paris: culture, food, and you know, population, different people.
Yep.
Thanks.
And you would have been cut off like 5 seconds ago, but that's fine. That's fine. You started giving a conclusion with maybe 5, 6 seconds left on the clock. Okay. And that's fine. A conclusion is not necessary. In fact, the only purpose of a conclusion is to fill up the last 5 to 12 seconds, whatever. So that's fine. That's not a problem. Okay, basically, you had the right idea, the right approach. Pretty much. Okay, your topic sentence, I would like to go visit Paris. You had a little bit of a fragment sentence because then you say, I always wanted. Wanted what? There's no object noun. You ended the sentence without an object noun, so that's called a fragment.
I wanted visit in Paris.
Yeah, I always wanted to go there. for example, a prepositional phrase. Or,
okay. Okay.
yeah. Okay. All right. Museums, culture, and food. Okay. One. All right. Regarding the content was great. Those are great things, and obviously very related to Paris. And yeah. Okay. Nothing wrong with your content, but you only have those 45 seconds. Important point here is that the most important thing is, well, you've got to have something to talk about. So it's important for you to have points, which you had. But for the scorers in the TOEFL test, the most important thing is to have details. I want to share something with you.
Okay.
On the screen here, and I want to show you something. You did a very good job. You're pretty close, but I want to share something and with any viewers as well. Okay, here is your question. Describe a place you would like to visit. Why you chose this location. Okay, fine. State your personal preference and briefly, succinctly, efficiently, to the point. You pretty much did that. All right. Introduce your reasons. You know, it's a good idea to use transitionals. I might say, first of all, all right, okay, this person chose Italy because using a connective here, and then detail. Now, this is the part where you had a little detail for museums. I think you brought up an example. Great. But then the other two things you mentioned, the culture, I find the culture very interesting. I found the food is also wonderful, something like that. You're giving your reasons, but this is the most important part in
Okay.
actuality, the
Say
detail
what,
for the
but
reason.
why you choose that
The
reason?
why,
Okay.
precisely, exactly, the why. Right. And the other thing that's important, you used one, actually, okay, which is a discourse marker. For example, I think you actually used that one. Very important to use connectives like because, connecting phrases, yet, but, so, and because, whatever. Okay. And other introductory phrases like, for example, another reason, a second reason, as well, whatever. So basically, regardless of the content, there is no wrong content. Again, personal preference, reason, detail, reason, detail, reason, detail. You know what? I personally, when I've practiced, I could never get to a third reason. I just,
I think there's
I
no
can't.
time
I think
for
there's no,
3 reasons.
I agree. And you don't have to. And the fact is, it's better to give 2 reasons and more detail rather than
Okay.
3 quick reasons or 4 quick reasons. It's much better to focus on the detail. That's where you're going to score the maximum points.
One thing, you said reasons in plural and detail in singular. There's no plural for detail. You said
Huh?
two reasons and more detail.
More detail. Yeah. There. Okay. Oh.
No more details.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a tricky word. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. The
Yeah,
word
but yeah, I
it
thought
can
that
be.
now.
It's a tricky word because it can be countable. You can use it in general. It's one of those tricky abstract words in English. When you're talking in general, it's uncountable. But when you're talking specifically, it can be countable. All right.
Okay, so
He
both
gave
are
me,
okay.
yeah, so both are okay. When you're talking in general, oh, you need more detail, like I just said. Or he told me 3 details that have been added to the presentation, like that.
Okay, great.
Very specific. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. All right,
Okay.
let's try another one, another question 1 example. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay, sometimes, all right, people is a common topic, so here's one about people. Who is an important person in your country? Describe this person, explain why he or she is important. Use detail, obviously. Okay,
Important or famous? How important?
important is the question. Yeah,
Important. Who's important here?
okay. All right, I'll give you 15 seconds to think about that.
Okay.
Mm. Okay, and begin.
Well, I think one of the most important people in my country is the president, obviously. He is called Mariano Rajoy, and he is really important because he is the person who takes the decisions in our country. He decides the laws, he decides everything about our life. So I consider him an important person in Spain. And well, he also is important because he's a referent for other many people, you know, who want to be like him because they consider him a nice person. So it's very important to have a stop it. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I'll give you the hand signal.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
time is up. All right. Okay. Better, much better
Much
because
better.
there's more
Yeah.
detail involved in there. Definitely. Okay. Good job too. Just getting your topic sentence out there efficiently. Don't worry about being too fancy with that first sentence. Just boom. That's not really
Yeah.
the
Straight.
important point. You got to do it, but it's not really important to make it too fancy. Um,
45 seconds. Imagine that. I don't have time for say
like
any
that.
compliment.
No. And think about how many sentences you're saying. Like, I think that was 5 sentences, maybe 6.
Oh,
That's all
yes.
you have time for.
Yeah. You know what? I
About
couldn't
6
say
sentences.
the conclusion because as I'm not sure when is the time is going to finish, you know,
Hmm.
I didn't do it.
Excuse me. Sorry. In the real exam, you'll see a countdown timer, so you can actually see,
Much
five,
better, you
four,
know? Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like,
Okay.
and you'll know it's over. And you could stop. But anyway, but in reality, you should kind of ignore the countdown. Well, not ignore it. That's not good advice. But uh, try not to let it stress you out, and if you can, and it doesn't matter if you get cut off. You can still get a perfect score even though you're cut off in the middle of
Okay.
your giving detail about your second point. It doesn't affect the score, so it's not that important is what I'm trying to say. Okay, well, that was definitely much better. Okay, good job organizing into that kind of really template. You know, IELTS, for example, or CAE, you can you can do different things. You can introduce references. Oh, I saw on the news the other day. You can give example. You got time to do things like that. You can introduce conditional sentences and, well, I've never had the chance, but if I had the chance, I would choose things like that. You can do because you
Yeah.
have time. You just don't have time for that, really. In the TOEFL exam, it's very straightforward, and you really need to memorize basically a template for exactly how you're going to answer the question. Um, and just go with your template. So you don't have a lot of wiggle room, as we say in English. Not a lot of wiggle room.
Wiggle room. Okay.
Wiggle room, yeah. Wiggle room meaning, okay, um, you can have wiggle room or not have wiggle room. What it means is the ability to adapt or change things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot of wiggle room in the TOEFL exam. All right, a couple of small things. You have very small mistakes, and I don't know that this would actually keep you from getting a perfect score of 4. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe 3.5 at least. But things like this: make decisions. He has to make decisions, not take decisions.
Yes, yes, I know that. Make decisions. Yes, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you know. Yeah, and I maybe I didn't hear it. I'm not sure. You know, the officials who score the exam have the luxury of a rewind and listen again. I do not. But I thought I heard a missed conjugation of a verb. He decide should of
He
course be,
decide.
yeah, with an
Yeah.
S. Yeah. And I missed one word that you said. He is a something for many people. And then you added
A
detail.
reference. Could I say a reference?
He's a what? A
Maybe it's
reference.
not a reference when, someone is important, everyone see that person, and want to keep the way of his life. It's like
Yeah. Okay.
it's
I,
something to copy.
okay. Well, here's a phrase for you. He's a role model.
Reference, but maybe it's different in
Reference doesn't
English.
really work. Um,
Okay, so
reference is a more
a role model. Yes, that is the idea. The role model,
yeah,
model.
right, right. That's much better because a
Okay.
reference is extremely neutral. When we use
Okay.
the word reference, it doesn't mean good or bad. It just means information that we can
Okay.
look at. Um, so obviously, role model is obviously positive. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the meaning of what you're trying to say. So, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go with role model. All right, that confused me. It was not really the right word at the right time, so I didn't understand it. Okay, that right there would probably knock you down to 3 or 3.5
Mm-hmm.
because it affects two things. It affects vocabulary. It also affects delivery.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand it. So,
Yeah. Right.
yeah. Again, the scoring on this test, content, delivery, and then actual English is really only a third. The grammar and the vocabulary is one section of scoring. How you say it, your actual voice, is one section, including pronunciation, stress, intonation, joining sounds, all of that. And the other part is
Okay.
actually what you say, the words, the content. Does it match the question? Is it enough detail?
I guess
Yeah.
a natural way of speaking, as a normal person.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good point. You did not make this mistake, a very common mistake. I need to bring it up. You spoke very natural. I've worked with you before. I know your normal speaking pace and intonation, and so it was all very normal to me. But just for other viewers or people interested in the TOEFL exam, a very common mistake is try to hurry up because you only have 45 seconds, so you try to
Yeah.
talk really
Yeah,
fast, try to
like
get
a
all the
robot.
information.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could hear some people here like that.
yeah, yeah. Don't do that. That's a big, big mistake. That will affect, obviously, the delivery, but it will even cause you to make other small mistakes. So speak at your normal speaking voice. By the way, you notice how I'm always moving my hands around and waving my pencil about? Um,
Yeah.
if you do that when you speak, even though I know you're in front of your screen, you got your headphones and your microphone, there's people talking next to you, in front of you, behind you. So you may feel self-conscious, but you shouldn't. If you wave your hands around and move your head around like I do, then do that. Whatever makes you feel most natural. It's about your delivery. That section of the scoring is about sounding natural, not
Mm-hmm.
forced, not don't sound like a robot either. Don't talk like this because you're nervous, because this will obviously affect your score because you're not using proper intonation. Okay, how you normally speak with ups and downs and pauses where pauses belong. And yeah, All of that. Now, okay, you didn't have any of that problem, but I need to bring it up in case for others,
Yeah.
because it's a very common problem. Okay, let's try question 2, which is a little bit different, but not really, actually. The material is different in that the questions that we just tried were question 1. You're doing some description and explaining why something's your favorite, for example, or why you choose an example of something. Question 2 is a preference. You're going to hear 2 things. Which do you choose? So obviously your choice is an opinion. So it's much closer to
Conditional.
much more. Well, conditionals may be used, but yeah, it's much more of an opinion question, I was going to say. Same timing though, unfortunately, same exact timing. It's still 15 and 45 again. Okay, again, it doesn't matter which position you choose. The position you choose is whichever one is easier for you to support.
Okay.
Don't everybody. Here's another problem many test takers have, is they try to give the real answer. There is no real answer. Or they try to tell the truth. Oh, I don't know about that, so I can't talk about it. Well, you can lie. You don't have to tell the truth. It doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be how you really feel. Some of the best answers I get from practicing with students, I can't tell. Do you really feel that way? No, not at all. It was just easier to talk about. And they fool me. And that's when I know they're going to get a really good score. If they can totally trick me, I don't know if they're being sincere or not. The chances are, if you can fool me, you're probably going to get a decent score because it sounds real. All right, let's try preference question 2 on the TOEFL exam.
So 45 seconds too.
Same deal. Yeah, same thing. All right. Here we go. Some companies require people to dress in suits or ties. Others allow casual dress. Which one would you prefer? Again, use examples and personal experiences to support your answer. Okay, and I'll give you 15 seconds. Okay, a little late there. All right, 45 seconds, please begin.
Okay, if my company gave me the chance to choose the clothes I had to wear, I would decide to wear casual clothes because I would feel more comfortable wearing my own clothes. You know, the clothes I have made the decision to buy it. That is the reason I need to be comfortable at the time of working, and clothes is very important for me. So casual clothes would be the best choice. And I wouldn't be okay.
Okay. Time. Okay, what did I just write there? I can't read my own notes. Oh, yeah, okay. You were trying to do a conditional sentence, which, by the way,
Okay.
well, by the way, this is the perfect question to do a conditional sentence. It's not always going to be possible, but many of the question 2, it's definitely possible because you're given a choice. Which do you prefer, this or that? If I had a choice, I would choose. So it's very often possible. And of course, that's a more advanced sentence structure. Of course, that's going to be worth points for you. But one little mess up when you tried to do it, Rebecca, you said,
Yes.
if my employer told me, gave me the chance to pick
If
which
my
clothes.
company gave me the chance to choose my own clothes, I said I would decide.
No, you didn't. You said, if they told me which, I had the choice, gave me the choice to pick
Yes.
which clothes I had to wear. But if you're given a choice, then you don't have to wear. You see, have to means you must. There is no choice.
Okay, I made the mistake with the sense of the.
Yeah, with the modal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I think you said two things. You said had to, and you self-corrected and said could.
Which one would be the right sentence?
It could. I could wear.
Okay.
Possibilities. Can and could have to do not so much with probability, what are the chances something that will happen, but more the idea that they're one of many possible choices. So could would be appropriate.
Listen. Imagine if the company gave me the choose to decide, I would, I would choose casual clothes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So you can make it simpler than if the noun, of course, is choice, not choose. If the company gave me the choice, I would choose.
Yes, always a problem with that word. Okay,
Choose
thank you.
choice. Yeah, you and a lot of other English learners. Yeah. Uh, okay, and then okay. You said your choice. I'm not sure how it went. I heard a because, a joining conjunction there. Well, I don't know. I would have to re-listen and analyze it if there was two separate sentences or one really long sentences with the topic sentence and the. I'm not sure, to be honest. Um, but if it was one really long sentence. If it was,
It's
uh,
not good to
I'm not
say
sure.
long sentence. It's much better always a small sentence. Yeah, I know
Well,
that.
no.
Sentences.
That's not really the point. Okay, that does bring up an interesting point, though. I'm glad you said that. No, actually, my point was that your topic sentence or first sentence should be completely separate, period. Then introduce your first point or first reason as a separate sentence. Don't join the two ideas with because. Okay, I would choose to wear
Okay.
casual clothes because I like
Mm-hmm.
comfortable clothes. And it's important for me to be comfortable, and because I chose those. If you're going to keep adding clauses, that's not good because each sentence has to be a separate idea. So you couldn't be more separate than topic sentence point one. You have to separate those two. Definitely. That's my point. But your point, asking about longer sentences, also I should address. Actually, ideally, both in writing and in speaking, people get caught up with, oh, they want advanced English, so I should use really long sentences. That's not true. First of all, simple sentences can be very short, or simple sentences can be very long. A complex sentence can be very short or very long. What they really want is simple, compound, complex sentences. It really has nothing to do with the size of the sentence per se. And what they really ideally want is a mix of such sentences. If you speak every single sentence is a complex sentence, that's no better than speaking every single sentence is a simple sentence. Well, it's slightly better. It's obviously a little bit more advanced, but a mix, in other words, is what they're looking for. You can have some short, really short subject, verb, object, simple sentences. Just mix them up with longer sentences. That's ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, okay. All right. Okay. To quote you or paraphrase you, I'm not probably quoting, but you said, I'd like to wear casual clothes because I had made a decision to buy it. Um, oh, I would wear clothes that I had made a decision to buy. So you've already used clothes. You put it at the end. It wasn't necessary. I would wear clothes. Oh, because you had. Well, now I think about it. You had a relative clause there. You used, I can't remember that or which, as an adjective clause, which is advanced and also very good, along with your conditional sentence earlier. That I had, okay, I would buy clothes that I had made a decision to buy. You don't need it because you've already used that subject noun. All right, this is just an adjective phrase, so we know what it is. You don't have to say it.
Okay.
I like to wear clothes at work that I had made a decision to buy. That's the correct way to say it. Okay. And a little bit of a strange phrasing, maybe grammatically, technically correct, but not, not very colloquial, not very native speaker-ish. You said something about, I don't remember the sentence, but it was something about in my time of working, which sounds.
At the time of working made me feel comfortable, maybe something like that.
Yeah, something like that. That was close to it. Yeah, it's not technically wrong, but it sounds
weird.
It sounds weird. It sounds a little too formal. Doesn't sound like conversational English. It sounds something like you might read.
Okay.
Okay, so instead I might say in my work time, just use
much better. My work time.
Instead of time of working. This is another common mistake. Yeah. Using like a preposition with a gerund, my shoes for working. We don't say that. We say my work shoes. We just use the noun as an adjective. It's more common, more colloquial, more conversational. Oh, I have to. Okay, that was a good example. I have to put on my shoes for working. I have to put on my clothes for cold weather. No, you have to put on your warm clothes or your cold weather clothes. We just like that. We use it as an adjective. Sounds much more natural. Okay. But basically, in any case, you had the basic organization down. Excuse me.
That's okay.
Okay. Let's try one more. Oh, the transitionals. Okay. Oh no. Okay. I got to listen for those transitionals. I wasn't listening carefully enough. I'm not sure, but things like first of all, secondly, for example,
okay.
These are really, really important.
Yeah, to organize the ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, and that affects both vocabulary part of the scoring and the content or content development, whatever, organization and content. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, and this time I'm actually going to share the screen because you would actually hear a narrator say it and you could look at the screen. Some of these part two questions are quite long, really. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here so you can see it. So here it is. Because sometimes they have background, like in this case here. All right. Some college and university students believe it is important to focus solely on their academic studies, while others see extracurricular activities such as clubs and sports as a valuable part of their educational experience. Which approach do you think is best? All right, I'll give you 15 seconds.
Okay, is
Okay, that's it. Please begin.
well, I think a good academic studies would be with a combination of academic results and Well, some activities such as, clubs or sports, you know, because one student has to be full of all activities and that he can do. So it's very important, good results, academic results, and well, practice another activities which develop in their skills, mental skills. Well, too difficult this one. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. You know why? Let me give you a helpful hint, and for any viewers out there, my advice to you. I know it's awfully tempting to sometimes they say, oh, this one or this one. It's awfully tempting to say, well, both is good, but you really shouldn't do that because you only have 45 seconds. And when you're
Okay,
trying to talk about both, 45 seconds is not
it's
enough
too much.
time.
Too much. Okay, thank you.
It's not enough
Decide
time.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
Go with one, whatever one you can talk more about. Yeah, because when you're picking that middle area, which you may want to do in the writing section, actually, and in the IELTS exam, for example, the part 2 question is they often require you to do the middle of the road approach. It's called an argumentative essay or an argumentative analysis, and the only way to do that is to take a. Now you're dealing with double the points because you bring up one point and you have to talk about this one
Yes.
and
All
this
right.
one.
I got it.
So you're
Yes.
doubling what you have to say. Yeah.
Double job. Double job. You know.
Yeah, you're
And
exactly. You're doubling the work you have to do.
yes. Okay.
Right.
It's a good advice. Thank you. You know. Yeah. I will
Hmm.
have this present in my exams.
Hmm. What's that? Are you preparing for exams?
Yes, but in the in well, actually, I have exams in January, but I'm not going to take it because I'm going to be abroad. You know, so I
Okay.
will not able to take the exams. But then in June I'll do it. So you know, I have more time to prepare it.
Okay. I will not be able to take the exams. Okay.
I sorry, say again.
You said I will not able.
Yes, be
Uh,
able. Yes, I miss
B.
B. Yeah.
Yeah, you missed B. Very common mistake. Able is not a very able verb. We have to use be with
Yes, it's be able.
able.
Yeah, I will not be able to take the exam by January, February.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I'm going to your country in January.
What country? Which of my country?
Which country? Where you from? You don't know exactly
America?
where you're from.
No, I know where I'm from, but I know where I live now is not where I'm from.
No, you are living in Philippines, but I
That's
think you are American.
yeah, there you go. That's true. So
Okay.
you're going to the U.S.?
Yes, I'm going to the US.
Wow.
I'm going to New York and Washington.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, but business, and then to connect with the Mexico too, and then go back to New York again and stay there 1 week.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I hope
Yeah.
you have time to, enjoy yourself. Hope it's not all business.
Well, I
Uh,
think I could do both.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
let's go.
okay. Okay. A little feedback. You got a little tangled up in there. Yeah. Uh, First of all, I think good academic studies would be, well, all right. You have A with the plural studies. Obviously, that's wrong. It's articles are for singular nouns. And it's a little awkward. A good plan of academic study would be better.
Okay.
All right. Um, might I suggest? Yeah, and you got kind of confusing because you're trying to give an example or really a hypothetical example of a student. If a student gets full of all activities, that he can do, that's really confusing. I don't even know what you really meant by that. Do you mean that he gets overloaded with activities? I sort of
No,
lost
I made a
thread.
mess with the answer, you know. Well, it was really no.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of this answer.
Okay.
No.
All right, let's just drop it
No,
then. Never mind. It got a
not at
little
all.
tangled. Yeah, okay. I think the key problem was not just keeping it simple. And there's an axiom or there's an expression, really. If I could give everyone one piece of advice for any of these standardized tests for English, keep it simple. Simplify things in your own mind. Um, I like to tell people, like in the reading and the listening sections, um, really rephrase things in your mind, because rephrase things the way you would explain it to like a 6-year-old child. So, because what they do is, okay, keep things simple, simple, simple. Um, and it makes things much easier to deal with. Simple, and that means everything: the question, the instructions, searching for an answer. What are you really looking for? Keep things as simple as possible. Yeah. So trying to divide it into two parts, you're overcomplicating what you don't need to overcomplicate. The truth is, all these exams, they make things really complicated for you, or appear really complicated, to confuse and distract and fool you. In reality, the whole test, you really need to make their overly complicated instructions and questions much more simple in your mind. It helps. Okay, let's try one more. Give you another chance at this part 2 question.
Okay.
Um, okay. Okay. Uh, Here we go. All right. Here's a straightforward classic example. All right. Here you are. All right. Classic example. Some people prefer to live in a cool climate, while others prefer to live in a hot climate. If you had the choice, where would you prefer to live and why? Okay, 15 seconds. Okie doke. And begin.
Okay, if I had the choice to live in a cold or hot place, I would prefer to live in a cool climate, you know, because I really can't bear it hot weather. It's really annoying for me. My body suffer from hot weather, and I have a very bad moment when temperatures are really hot. So I prefer, without any doubt, cool climate, because in my life I think it would be much comfortable and much easier. Stop another time.
Yeah. We're over time. I'm just continuing to make notes. Okay. Again, you made the mistake of joining your topic sentence to your reason. You gave me a great conditional sentence, but then instead of stopping there, period,
Mhm.
you add the subordinator or joining conjunction because. Okay.
Okay, always is a mistake. I need to stop
Yeah.
saying because. It's like a baby.
Yeah.
Because. Okay.
Yeah. Like a baby.
Okay.
Funny. Okay. Also, you had two object nouns. I can't bear it hot weather. Well,
Yeah.
you
Yes,
got
two.
it
Okay, that's
and
one.
hot weather. You just get rid of it. I can't bear hot weather. Yeah. Also, another small mistake. Because I had a
Yeah.
bad moment with hot weather. Okay.
When, okay, what is the expression when you are that having a bad moment, but going through wrong way, wrong moment?
Well, first of all, a moment is one specific time. So are you
Ah.
trying to express one specific event, or are you talking about in general?
Well, imagine that is true. You know, when here in Spain is really hot, and we call that heat waves. You know, maybe
Yes.
once in my region during all summer is once or twice. You know, that moment for me is very bad. So, what is the expression to
Ah,
my body suffers? You know, from is going through a bad moment. I don't know how could I explain
uh,
that.
right. Okay. Well, as you said, and great way to create a complex sentence. Heat wave is also English, same thing. When there's a heat wave, how would we say this? When there's a heat wave, my body, we wouldn't say has a bad moment because that refers to one specific thing.
Okay, I get it.
So
Okay,
my body really suffers whenever
suffer.
there's a heat wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then here's really it's a great place to add detail. How does your body suffer? I feel
I
dizzy. I
feel
feel
down. I feel without
nauseous.
energy. I feel something like that. I
Something
feel
like that.
like I don't want to do nothing. So things like that.
Exactly. So that would be great detail and fairly simple to
Yeah,
present.
it's
All
true.
right.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't want to do anything. You not
Yeah.
you use the double negative. I don't want to do nothing means you want to do
Ah, okay. It's double
everything.
negative. I
Yeah.
don't feel like doing nothing.
I don't feel your negative is don't. I don't feel like doing
Ah,
anything.
okay. Yes, I get it. I get it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I don't feel like doing anything.
Right.
Okay.
I don't want any ice cream. I don't want
Okay.
any problems from you.
Okay.
Right. So when you use a negative, we use any and anything, anyone. I don't like anyone.
No,
I don't
nothing.
like
Okay. That
anything.
is negative.
Yeah. Um, you should. I recommend my homework for you. Go listen to. Do you know the punk rock band, the Ramones?
No.
Okay. Well, you can look them up. Road to Ruin is their album. Ramones Road to Ruin, and there's a song I don't like anything, and it just teaches you how to
Okay.
use. I don't like
I
anything.
don't like
Okay.
anything. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to repeat that sentence all day. I don't
Okay.
like anything. I don't like
Uh,
anything.
I don't like any
I like
place,
nothing.
anybody.
Could I
I
say
like.
I like nothing?
Yes, you could, and that is yes, the invert, but the actually the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. I don't like anything. I like nothing. I don't like anything. I like nothing.
There you
Okay.
go.
It's going to be
Okay.
my
Your
song today.
mantra. Your mantra. Okay.
Yeah.
Words that you repeat over and over. Your
Yes.
mantra. Okay. One last thing. You're doing a, a comparison, and you said I could be much comfortable. You forgot the comparative more, much more comfortable.
Always. Much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much more. Yeah. Much is a complement to more. Yes.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. It's still a comparative. You still need that more there. By the way, you mentioned that okay, you're not taking an exam in January or February. You'll take it in June. What exam are you talking about, Rebecca?
Well, I think it's not a high level, you know, because I'm in, yeah, in the second course. I'm not sure exactly the name of the exam. It's here in Spain. We have
Mm,
some language school. We call that language school. So,
hmm.
well, I'll check what exam is and then I'll tell you.
Okay. Okay. Fair
Yes,
enough.
but one of the exams, you know, different speaking test.
Ah, okay, all right. Yeah,
Apart,
I'd
of
like to. I'd
course,
be
writing and
okay.
listening, but it's speaking.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested in knowing what it's all about. We'll talk another time because we're out of time for right now. I'll be right back
Yeah.
in just a couple minutes
Okay.
with another class here on Verbling, talking idioms. But so long for now. Thanks a lot for joining me, Rebecca. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
All right.
See you later. Bye bye. Bye.
All right.